Welcome friends, it's Ray. Thank you so much for joining me today. In today's video, we're going to make a trio of tone-on-tone cards. And this is a fun technique that really works well with 3D embossing folders. The folder I'm using today is the Farmhouse Florals by Altenew. And let me just apologize in advance. I am working from a hotel room at the moment, away on a trip, and so I don't have everything with me, and this table is really shaky, so I may have to cut out some, as I'm editing, cut out some of the footage if it's just really bad. If you're watching this video before October 4th of 2024, I am having a 1,200 subscriber video giveaway here on YouTube, so I will link to that information in the description bar below, so please be sure to check that out. I have embossed my 3D embossing folder onto some Bermuda cardstock, and I'm bringing in a Bermuda dye ink and just lightly holding that and brushing it over my raised areas on my embossed panel. And I stress lightly because you do need to have a light hand with this, otherwise the ink will get in places you don't want it to get. My cards today are A7 5x7 cards. Here's my periwinkle blue Hero Arts cardstock, and then I'm bringing in a mid-tone navy ink and lightly going over that, and I do get a little extra ink in the top left, but I will hopefully be able to disguise that as I finish up my panel. So I'm lightly brushing that navy ink over. I don't have a lighter ink. I think if I had a lighter ink I would have used that, but I am just trying to use what's in my stash. And blue, the navy, I think actually stands out quite a bit, so that's a really interesting look. And on amethyst cardstock I've used my Grape Slush Hero Arts ink to blend that panel. When embossing, I did use the left part of my stencil for one design and the right part of the stencil for the other, so that I would get a slightly different look to show you. So for this blue panel, I am going to bring in some of the dots from this stamp set. I'm using a Simon Says stamp Let's Celebrate stamp set for my sentiment, and it has some dots. So I'm going to use those to try and I guess mute down or disguise the top left where I did a little, got a little extra ink outside of the line, so to speak. And here I am also going to use my sentiment at the top, or the top portion of my card, to further kind of disguise that left edge. So I'm affixing that with liquid glue, and then I will trim that off on either side. So for my Bermuda card, I've decided I want my sentiment strip almost just a little below the midsection, and so I will affix it there and let it extend over the left and right sides of the card. I placed my acrylic block over top to apply pressure so that liquid glue will adhere faster, and then I'm placing my sentiment on my periwinkle, my amethyst card, and doing the same, placing it kind of a little bit lower on the card. Here, just using my paper trimmer to trim off the edges of my card fronts. And here I placed foam tape on the back of each of my focal panels, and on this one I'm partially releasing the release tape from my foam, or release paper from my foam, and then I will apply liquid adhesive to the exposed areas so that when I'm placing it on my cardstock or my card base, I have some wiggle room in terms of positioning, and then once I get it positioned the way I want it, I can then remove that remaining release paper and commit it to my card base. So that is what I'm doing here, and I do this on all 3 cards. Random thoughts and questions. Why log out of your computer to allow an upgrade, and when you log back in you need another upgrade? Why couldn't it all happen at the same time? So leave me a comment below if you have some random thoughts and questions you'd like to share. Make sure you include the hashtag RTQ for random thoughts and questions. Would love to hear yours. So glad I brought embellishments. I actually didn't bring any others, so these were kind of hidden. I didn't know I had them, so I'm glad I have them with, and I can go ahead and finish up the cards. These are Elizabeth Crafts Gold Glitter Peel-Offs, and they come in 3 different sizes on this card. I'm adding the gold to my Bermuda card and my amethyst card, and then for the blue, the periwinkle, I decide to add silver. I am wondering if these cards can pass for clean and simple cards or CAS cards. Usually I think that they need a lot of white, but I feel like these are clean and simple. Let me know what you think in the comments. And here are all 3 cards I made in today's video. Look at the dimension from the embossing folder and then from the foam tape. Once I place it behind the focal panel to give it a lift, it also gives it more texture. So really love the way these cards turned out, and also just let you know what you can do with minimal ink. I'm just, tone on tone. You can still have dimension with 1 color ink. I love it. Let's talk more in the comments below. I hope you liked the video and will give me a like, thumbs up, and consider subscribing if not already a subscriber. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, good day, friends.